the tape! Is this not why you are here?
I address you tonight as a citizen of humanity. We are faced with the very gravest of challenges.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Live from the Plantation. I'm Spartacus 2.0, and with me, as usual, upstairs across the gallery is Lucifer 777.
Good.
Today, we're going to be talking about natural disasters. So, are they acts of God? Are they somehow nudged along by man? And the way we treat our planet. What's going on? We got shit. We got an earthquake that just killed
Right.
30,000 people. We have fires burning across half the world, burning down entire forests. I mean, shit, last year alone in America, we burned enough trees to cover the whole state of Missouri. What else do we have?
Right.
We have
mass shootings.
floods.
Mass shootings.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's not a natural disaster. That's a man-made disaster, but yeah, we're going to put that into it. Mass shootings is...
But I'm going to get on that. I'm going to cover that topic. I think it's a natural disaster. We'll cover it when we get there.
Good. I like your thing. We're going to see where you go. I mean, I don't know how you're going to get there. I see it as a disaster, but not a natural disaster. I'm curious to see how you get there. What else do we have? Hurricanes, tidal waves.
Yeah.
These fucking superstorms that these cold fronts coming down that are fucking killing everything. I don't know, all kinds of shit. So let's get started. You want to start us off? You want me to start? What do you want to do? How you want to roll?
I mean, we can't start off with the earthquake because it's recent. It's devastating.
Yeah, we probably should.
So you go ahead and start off with you can start off with that.
Okay, I'll get us rolling. Let's start off by saying our prayers, our thoughts and prayers go out to all the people involved.
Exactly.
I mean, these people that are trapped.
Children.
Oh my God, I can't imagine being.
Children.
Could you imagine that man being stuck down under one of them buildings? And did you see the? I mean, it's like hundreds of buildings, hundreds of them crunched to the ground. Big buildings.
Man.
So,
man.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to them and to the rescue workers from around the world who've flown there to help. And
they're doing
to
a
the
good job.
to the dogs, the search dogs. That's one of the things I want to do. By the way, I want to train up a couple search dogs, and you can go volunteer whenever something like that happens. That would be cool.
Most definitely. That's a good look, man. That's a good look. And that's crazy though. I couldn't even imagine that, man. It's like I try to like, you can't even place yourself in that predicament. Even though I try to do that with all scenarios, but you can't even place yourself in that predicament, man. Only thing you can do is be like, pour your heart out to them and just continue to pray for the people and the family. It's just so crazy that they had to go through stuff like that.
I was watching that shit last night. Like, I'm starting to tear up just thinking about it. I was watching them pull these, and they were pulling these people, these kids and people out of this rubble and alive, and I was crying. I mean, I can't imagine people.
Yeah.
I thank God that they're still alive. Imagine the fortitude it took to lay down there in the dark for all these days. I mean, if that don't tell you that God exists, nothing will. But I'll tell you, the flip side, atheists will say to you, well, if God exists, how could God cause something like that, right?
It wouldn't have happened that. Yeah.
I'd like to point out the way that I see this, right? So, God is everything, the entire universe.
Right, most definitely.
Not just this universe, there's thousands of universes that are connected. So, just to give a quick example of the way I see it, like my soul is huge, this outside of this plane. In every single universe, there's a Jerry. There's another one of me, unless he's died or expired in that universe. We're all connected to the same soul. So in our universe, our time, right now, right, this earthquake has happened. But them same people are still alive in another universe where the earthquake didn't happen. Like when I make a decision in life, sometimes I go left, sometimes I go right. But I might go right, but another Jerry went left. I know this is hard to wrap your mind around. it sounds insane, but for me,
No, not really.
like, sometimes I'll have dreams,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you do too, and all of our listeners, that are so vivid. It's almost like you're a passenger in another Jerry's life or another you's life. I've had some, I mean, where I feel the love and fear and everything that Jerry is feeling. And me, that's just me. I've just, in my dream state, I've connected with another Jerry somewhere else. Another true Jerry that existed. I just was riding along in his life for a little bit. So every time that I look back and I think I made a wrong decision, I know somewhere I made a right decision, and I wonder what that Jerry's doing. I say that to say, yes, God gave us earthquake, and all these people they're dead, and I feel bad for them. They're really not dead. Their giant soul is still alive, and they're still alive somewhere else. They'll be cycled back through, when they decide, when all my Jerrys on all the planes have finally finished, they've all went back to the other side, and in the future we may decide to come back. Like, hey, let's go try that again. It might be 100 years from now. We might have done this 2 or 3 times. We might have cycled in 100 times for all I know. But I say that to say that it's one thing we're all guaranteed. Didn't fear it. Don't have to embrace it either. But at the same time, it's going to come for us all. Just know that those people they're still existing. They're still functioning on the other plane, on the other side, and the other thems are still functioning. Lots of them, maybe millions of them, who knows, are still functioning. So yes, God causes these things. God knows about them, at least. You know what I mean? God understands. God she's the entire universe. She knows exactly what the fuck she's doing. She doesn't make mistakes, and there are no right or wrong. There just is.
And that's the thing, though, right? And along those lines, right? I'm gonna go along those lines, right? And this way, what I talked about in the beginning comes play, right? With the mass shootings and all these collective deaths, due to natural disasters, or somebody through somebody else's hand, right? Due to free will that God has allotted us, right? For me, and it might sound dark, right, to say it, but it's natural selection, right? It's natural selection, right? These things has to happen, right? For example, for us, our beautiful world, for the inhabitants of this world, this earth, right, to happen, it had to be a disaster, right? It had to be 2 massive powers, right, colliding with each other, breaking, 2 massive forces breaking each other, right, and creating make this beautiful destruction, right? Allowing us to live, right? Allowing us to inhabit Earth, allowing Earth to, rise from the ashes, so to speak, and breathe new life, right? So, to me, these things, these deaths have to happen, right? For somebody else to live, or for a soul to be released to go on into the will, right? It goes on the same lines as you. When I think about it, right? And it's dark. It's dark to say, but we feel for it, and sometimes like life is like you attach to life so much that you don't want to give it away, right? Just with that love sponsored spirit, we love life so much that we scared to lose it, right? And that's why most of us we do the homecoming when somebody, like in somebody's death. Rest in peace, my grandma. She just had her homecoming just not too long ago. And we try to celebrate it more often than we be sad about it, right? But it's going to happen. And it's a part of God's plan. Even if we don't want it to be snatched away from us as soon as it would have, as soon as we wanted to, it has to happen, right? I hate to happen like so tragically, with the mass shootings and the natural disasters, earthquakes and stuff like that, and do the infrastructure, like faulty infrastructure, but you can't beat that. You can't beat, like, you know what I'm saying, God's wrath. So with anybody that says, the atheist that says that God's good, well, yeah, because God knows that these things have to happen for new life to be brought up into, you know what I'm saying, to the world, to existence. And that's where I went with the mass shootings. It's natural, and it's a disaster because through the natural selection.
Okay.
You know.
So let me ask you this: are you saying kind of like, damn, what's his name that wrote Conversations with God, which is a great book, by the way, to our listeners. Talking about like how, are you talking about how? Do you know what his name is? Can you recall the author's name?
I can't remember it off top.
But bro. You know where he talks about how the souls agreed beforehand, before they even came back to, you know, they made that decision. Hey, when we're down there, you're gonna kill me. You know, like they knew in advance. The souls Definitely. On the other side.
They knew in advance.
There's no right or wrong.
Right.
You know, I mean, he postulates that.
No.
That so in that. You know, it is, you know, mass shooting is a natural disaster. It's an act of God for sure. It's because the souls are, you know, on the other side are part of God, part of the whole, and they've decided, decided, hey, when we go down here, this is what's going to happen. And so in that regard, there's, yes, it happened because all parties agreed. It might not seem on this plane, like when we're looking at it through our lens, that they agreed, but the way he puts it. And you should, everybody should read these books at least once, even if you don't agree with anything he says, just to kind of get a feel for another look at, another view on how you can see life and God and the universe and everything. Tina just told us we're about out of time, so we got to call back. We got to get this shit rolling.
Okay, then.
All right, so natural disasters. We also need to talk about, at least I believe we need to talk about the idea of somehow fucking shit up on our planet, you know, global warming, helping to cause or to contribute to global warming, which is causing fires and all kinds of shit that the Earth seems to be out of whack. What do you think about that, Seven?
I mean, right, the destruction of our planet due to natural resources, for the natural resources of our planet, whether it be tearing down trees, mining for coal, drilling for oil, and releasing the oil back into the atmosphere, right? We already been preaching on, all that. We already been preaching on reducing the carbon footprint and stuff like that. If not too long ago, it was a summit, right? And they had all the superpowers of the world, the countries and stuff like that, and they was like putting forth, presenting their agenda, right? And I think somewhere in Denmark, whereby Denmark and stuff like that, they was big on reducing their carbon footprint with the wind turbines and less gas, using less gas and stuff like that. And China wanted to do China and those countries over there wanted to focus on technology, and we wanted to focus on war and oil, right? Right. Yeah. I say that because I say that to say this, right? We globally, as a collective, only focus on not saving people. We focus on capitalism, right? We focus on money. Right? We don't care about who we destroy, what lives we destroy, who we bring down, who we have to step on. As long as it's for the almighty dollar, then that's the end all be all in my in everybody's perspective, right? So I think if we don't get a hold on it, right? If we don't get a hold on it, it's really going to be the cradle of civilization. This Earth, this right here, is going to be the cradle of civilization. That's why they're trying to fight for it to get to somewhere else, so they can fuck that up too. So they can just fuck all that shit up. We're just gonna be just planet hopping, just fucking everything up, leaving destruction around. All right, leaving destruction around. So it really is going to be the cradle because all this is going to be, it's going to cease to exist. Either we're going to kill ourselves or kill the planet.
Hey, what did my man in the virus, Mr. Smith, say in the virus? I mean, in the Matrix, that we're a fucking virus.
Yeah, we're a virus, man. We destroy everything we touch.
Yeah.
We destroy everything we touch, man.
We move from host to host to host. And yeah, I could see us about 2,000 years in the future will be like fucking Dune, going from planet to planet, fucking mining it till it's dead and moving on.
Most definitely. We are the locusts in the 7 plagues.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Yeah, we probably are.
Most definitely. We eat up everything. We devour everything. Right? Yeah, so we got to reduce the carbon footprint, man.
Well, I think that in America, at least, I think we're split pretty evenly. I would say half the people are for it, and the other half are probably just indifferent to it. But which means they can be brought around to the idea of cleaner energy. I mean, look at how electric cars are exploding, and that's exploding simply because people want cleaner energy. I mean, they want a cleaner environment.
I agree.
They want the air to be cleaner for their kids. So if we can do that for the mindset of electric cars, we can do that for the mindset of everything.
It's about big oil too, bro. We got to get big oil out of there.
Sure, but big oil they're not as big as they used to be.
Yeah, right. You're right about that.
Yeah, the companies with the say now are the trillion-dollar companies. Apple, Google, Microsoft, Facebook. Them are the ones that are calling these kinds of shots now. And they need to get their fucking asses in gear because, like Apple, they might tell us some shit. Yeah, we're going to help this shit in America, but yet they'll be running their fucking filthy factories over in China that are pumping out. You got little kids building iPhones, and they're pumping out all kinds of fucking 10 times the carbon emissions that they're supposed to be, because over there they can get away with that shit. Or India or Indonesia. There's a reason why they build all their shit in all these other places. So
third world countries with.
Yeah. So it's not just big oil we got to get in. That's got to get in line. The companies that are leading America, capitalism, and they're in the tech space, but fuck, they're in every space nowadays. They're the ones that I should say, have to start changing the way they do business, starting with the way they pay their fucking people. But that's a whole different podcast.
Right. So in other words, you say that it should be $1 billion. The ones that make the 1%ers that make the most money should really like have a focus group, or really gather and really say, really demand change, right? Like the Koch brothers and all these guys, all these trillionaires.
Well, I would agree with that, just simply because they have their voice is heard. When you and I, like, we do this little podcast and we complain about this, no one's going to give a fuck about what we say.
Right.
But you're right. If the Koch brothers had a podcast and they said they wanted to change, people are going to listen. Or any of them.
They got money back in there.
Yeah. The people are going to listen because, like you said, the almighty dollar, it reigns supreme. And the people who have it are, the happy people. They say money doesn't make you happy. Bullshit. All them happy billionaires, they got children too. They want their. You see, Elon Musk is trying to leave the planet. He already knows it's fucked. He's trying to figure out how to get to Mars already.
He's trying to be the first one to have
Mars. Yeah.
Right.
He's gonna raise his kids and grandkids and everyone else on Mars. I know Jeff Bezos is gonna go with him, and yeah.
And what's the guy from Virgin Mobile? What is it?
Oh yeah,
Virgin dude.
Yep. Virgin Atlantic. It's Virgin Galactic. Yeah, he's got his space shit too.
Yeah, Virgin Galactic.
Bronson. I think his name is Branson.
Richard Branson.
Yeah. Same shit.
Man.
They're all trying to get into outer space. That should tell you something. When the billionaires are trying to leave, it's kind of like Detroit. You remember the old slogan, "Last motherfucker out, turn off the lights"? That's their slogan. They're just not telling us about it. Yeah. They're like, shit, we got to hurry up and build spaceships. Get the fuck out of here. Last motherfucking billionaire off the planet. Click the lights off.
Definitely.
So with that being said, I think that just us, the normal people, need to be the ones that decide to make the change. Like anything in life, there's millions of us for every one of those billionaires. They seem to run everything. Well, how? Why? How is it? How do we allow that? We should be making. We should be electing people into power. We should be electing. Our elected officials should be people who do our bidding, not the rich people's bidding. How the fuck is an elected official, say for the city of Detroit, how do they get told what to do by some rich motherfucker that lives in California? What the fuck does he have to do with the city of Detroit? But he just donated enough money. We got to start electing people who don't give a fuck about that money.
I mean, I think it's kind of hard, though, right? Because, I mean, we just said money rules everything, and it's all-encompassing, right? So if you got some rich people, some rich motherfucker, building something inside your town or something like that, or you the mayor of it, and then like I'm about to bring this multi-$100 million business to your town. Who you gonna listen to? The person that's bringing money in your town, or the person that's complaining about stuff throwing tomatoes?
Yeah. That's the problem. They're only throwing tomatoes. Maybe they should think bigger.
Right. You want to start throwing bullets?
No, I didn't say that. Disclaimer here on Live from the Plantation, we do not promote violence. Well, to that
rioting, violence.
Yeah, we promote protests, not violent protests.
Most definitely.
We'll leave that up to the listeners to decide how they need to handle that shit. But
right.
Back to so all this come back to the natural disaster, to climate change. Tell that to the people who out west, their houses all got burned down last year. I bet you they want to invest in, they want to start some climate change because there's clear evidence that climate change is
effectiveness.
Encouraging these fucked up weather patterns that are causing all these dry spells, long, dry, hot spells, so that all the trees dry out and then they catch on fire. And then you'll have, like they just had, so all the trees burned. Then they have like a month of rain, so all the trees are burned and all the roots, all that shit is dead. Now you got mudslides.
And now everything drowned.
Right, crashing back into the people who are trying to rebuild their fucking communities that just been burned down. Now you're getting covered in mudslides and torrential rains. Fucked up.
Most definitely.
Planet is out of sync.
It's creating wear and tear on the planet and stuff like that, to where all these villages and cities and stuff built on these, like California, for instance, and they built on these hills and stuff like that. Eventually, with enough drastic change in the weather pattern and stuff like that, that would be destroyed. Would you think?
Yeah, of course. You've enough big enough drastic change. Just think of like coastal America. They're only like 6 inches to a foot above sea level. So you melt you a little more ice and you lose you a little more land. Melt you a little more ice, you lose you a little more land. Melt you enough ice and pretty soon America's lost 1/10 of its land to the ocean. It's not like we can create big giant freezing machines to make new icebergs. Once that land is gone, it's gone. They can try to dike up the walls like they do in like New York. Hell, fucking Manhattan. Half of Manhattan's literally underwater. They got giant dikes built and pumps to keep the water out. Louisiana, New Orleans, the same way. That fucking place is below sea level. They got to pump the water out. They got these giant pumps. So
Italy. Italy too.
Yeah. The big parts of Italy. Yep. Damn, what the fuck's that city? It's a beautiful city too. With half that motherfuckers. Take the boats through there and shit.
With the gondolas and shit. The gondolas.
Yeah. I want to go there someday.
It's beautiful.
Look, we're about out of time. What do you want to do? You want to end it here?
All right. Yeah, we can end it here, man.
All right. What do we do here live from the plantation?
Break the chains, my baby.
Break the chains. Socially, mentally, now environmentally. Breaking all kinds of fucking chains. Take us out,
Most definitely, man. All right, then. Thanks for tuning in to another amazing episode of Live from the Plantation, the best show on XB3, The Red Zone. Don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. Come on, family. We love y'all.